Hey, everybody, this is Eric with the Drum Addict. Thanks for stopping by for another episode of the Backbeat. I've got my friend Thumper Tarver with me today. Thumper, how are you?
Doing fine, Eric. How are you, my brother?
Doing well. Love the animal shirt. Super dope. It's awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you got into playing the drums.
Well, it all started when I was a small little thumper. Man, I'm serious. Drums have been my life for 50 years. I'll be 52 this year. So yeah, I've been at it that long. My mom and dad would sit and talk to me and tell me, we knew you was going to be a drummer. We'd see him put pots and pans in symmetrical order. I'd break the wooden part of the spoon off and I'd use the other ends for the sticks. So, I mean, they got me my first real set at, I had a paper set about 4 or 5. My brother got mad. I wouldn't let him play it, so he kicked the hole through the paper drum. 7 years old, I got my first real set of 7-piece Vista Light Ludwigs.
Ooh.
Beautiful. I've been playing ever since. I mean, it just, even with my age, doing certain things, my first live gig at 10 years old, I did a recording session at 13 with George Strait, a full Christmas album at 13. So, I mean, I've been playing ever since. And I still remember like yesterday, 10 years old, I'm on this stage. I come out, there's about 15,000 people. I'm in Texas at a Grapevine, some kind of festival. And I look out and I remember I got sick, crazy sick. I went back.
Oh, no.
I'm vomiting, They said, Thumper, it's okay, man. It's just like practice. Kick it off. We'll get it. I remember it like yesterday. My first song was George Strait, Amarillo by Morning. Dun. There it went, man. And as soon as the song was done and that crowd cheered, and I'm standing there and feeling my pants leg wiggle, I'm like, this is me. This is my life right here.
That's awesome. I love it. Who were some of your early influences when you started?
Oh my God, Ringo Starr, of course, the Beatles. I'm a big Rat fan, so Bobby Blotzer was part of my ammunition. I've got Neil Peart, of course, of Rush. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
John Bonham, and of course, you can't go, that's that's pretty much my main influences, but that's pretty much it right there. I mean, I've listened to all kind of drummers, and then I started getting into listening to oh God, I can't think of his name right now. He's gonna kick my butt. Anyway, that's pretty much how I got started right there. Listening to Journey, Steve Smith, guys like that, man.
Nice. What are there any like newer drummers that are out there that are on your radar?
Travis Barker.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he, of course, Tommy Lee. He's not a new one, but he's always been up there in my repertoire. And then Thomas Lang.
Thomas Lang. All right, yeah.
I'm sorry, Thomas. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, Thomas. But yeah, I'm just excited, man. This is amazing, the things you do for us guys in the music world and as drummers especially. And your snare, I can't get over this guy right here, Eric. Oh. Eric, you, the man, made me this most beautiful snare out of cherry, 14x7, purple glitter wrap with my Thumper emblem on it. God, it sounds great. If y'all get a chance to get this guy's snares, please do so for me.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're doing great for the community.
I appreciate that. Speaking of the snare drum, it's a cherry shell. And how do you think the cherry compares with like maple or another wood?
Well, of course, I've used maple, and maple, it's got the warm kind of a, well, not really a warm, it's more of a high end sound. The cherry, it's hard to describe to hear it. And if you're a drummer or musician, you know what I'm talking about. To hear it, to see one is the one thing, but to hear it, that changes your whole outlook of the drum.
Yeah.
And this cherry is a warm, but man, I've got it not like a 22 real pow. It's a 38. It's a deep pow. It's got so much bite and kick that you thought a pit bull done got you.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and it turned out really well too. Like as kind of a craftsman, you know, when somebody comes with the idea, and I, you know, you think you have an idea of what they're seeing in their head, and you've talked about it, and then when it all comes together, there's just something so satisfying of looking at it, going, "Gosh, that is gorgeous!" Like that didn't matter that I made it; it's just gorgeous, like that. It just and the sound of it, and yeah, man, I was really happy with that drum to it. So I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. What are you playing in terms of your other gear?
Well, of course I'm using the Attic snare now, but I've still got my pearl snares and everything. I'm using pearl drums. Of course, I love pearl. That was my first set. Well, besides the Ludwigs, that was the luck of the draw there. It was a Vista Light Concert Toms 7-piece,
Nice.
Acrylic blue. But I've always used pearls. That was my second first drum set. I used Tama gear, all hardware is Tama. The sticks, I use Scorpion sticks, and I use Soul Tone cymbals. And they've been personalized as well. They've got the Thumper emblem on the cymbals as well. So I'm pretty much, you know, and then I'm using Remo heads. People like Aquarian, people like other things. I love my Remo. It's
awesome.
What you love and what you like, and what works for one individual might not work for another one, but that's the way it goes with me. I'm
with you. You were talking about your Tama hardware. Right now, I've got Mapex hardware on this kit, minus the kick pedal as an Iron Cobra. But I've been a big fan of Tama hardware for decades. Do you find that it's because you play out a lot? I feel like it's really roadworthy stuff. What is your opinion on it?
Very roadworthy. That's the reason I use it. I've been overseas in Germany. You know, the language barriers overseas even. But you can walk into a music store, say Tama or Tama, boom, they know exactly what you're needing and what you want, and it's just everything about a Tama gear, the sturdiness, the long lasting, the heavy duty. And I'm a big guy. I'm like a Vinnie Paul, except I'm taller, and I use so much power, but I still keep speed and maintain agility. That, you know, the Tama gear is just amazing, and I would not trade nothing for Tama.
Yeah, they make some great stuff. My kit before this one, I still have it, was a Tama Superstar Classic. Okay. And great kit. Like, and I've got it at the church now, so I still get to play it. The church gets a nice kit of drums, and I still get to play it. So I love it. So talk to me a little bit. Wow, my voice cracked. That's a post-puberty voice crack right there, ladies and gentlemen. 48 years old, and I'm still. Anyways, tell me a little bit about. I know we've talked on the phone some. Talk to me a little bit about some of your experience. You've played out a lot. Who have you played with? Where have you been?
Oh wow, man! Eric, I've been everywhere. I've done a lot of things. I'm not going to say lucky, because I have worked hard at maintaining my craft, and and keeping up with chops and speed and yeah, I'm getting older and yeah, I'll slow down. It's inevitable. I mean, poor Alex Van Halen, he's still going at it, but he's not like he used to be. Well, I'm not going to say that. That's Alex Van Halen. But anyway, at any
Rock
time,
God, drumming rock God. Yeah.
right,
Right.
you know. It just I have played with Travis Tritt. He was my boss for 2.5 years. John Michael Montgomery, he's still touring. Poor guy had a bus wreck the other day. I think he's okay.
Oh no.
He was my boss for 1.5 years. So many people in Nashville, Tennessee, numerous artists that I played for. George Jones. I was in Branson, Missouri. I played for Andy Williams, Ray Stevens, Roy Clark, some of the older heads that, you know, Boxcar Willie, I played for him. So many, and I've seen so many go, and I played for what was his name? Buck Owens. Buck Owens. I played for him right before he died from testicular cancer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we was doing, actually it was Buck Owens' birthday. And I got to play with Doyle Holly, the bass player for Buck Owens back in the day in 50s and 60s. So, I mean, you know, and I've been to 37 different countries, USO tours, so much stuff that I've done. And like I said, it's not lucky. It's just, I work hard.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, will go out there, and if there's songs that I need to learn or listen to update I got my little electronic kit that I'll go out there and practice with, man, and keeps me up to par, so to speak, and
Yeah.
just that's my life. Music is my life, so
Gotcha.
And I live my life to the fullest.
I love it. I've heard somebody say that opportunity favors the prepared, and would you say you're talking about keeping up your chops and all this? So would you say that when the opportunity presented itself, even at a young age, you were ready for that opportunity?
I was ready, and I jumped on every opportunity I could. 2003, I was 43 years old. I won world's fastest feet with the drumming. That's before Mike Mangini. He handed me the sticks that says, "Thank you, congratulations, you won world's fastest feet." Now he's playing for Dream Theater, and Jesus Christ, I couldn't keep up with some of his stuff, you know. So
I feel that.
It's just a matter of honing in on my craft that I do well. I'm nowhere by far the best drummer. I've heard people say, "You're the best I've ever played with." You know what? It's a matter of doing the song that I like to do and doing it to the best ability. I play every show, every song like it was going to be my last. I want somebody to go,
Awesome.
"Damn, that was a badass drummer." I don't want to go, "Well, the band was okay, but the drummer could have done," you know.
Right.
I want them to go, "Who was the band? That fucking," excuse me, "that drummer was the bomb."
So your philosophy is just to leave it all on the stage. Don't have anything left to give when the show's over.
That's right. That's right. Put it all out. Play it like it was your last show or your last song. Because I want people to go, "Damn, man, that drummer was badass," you know?
Now, one thing that you said that I found really interesting was in terms of some of the drummers that you mentioned that were influential, were rock and roll drummers, and you've done a lot of Nashville work. How has that been different than maybe playing with a rock and roll band?
That's a great question, man. That's great. I went to ETSU, East Tennessee State University, and I took music theory, music appreciation. I was in concert band and stuff. Leading up to the Nashville thing, I came in cocky. Yeah, I know how to play drums. They said, "Well, whatever you learned in college, throw it out the window. This is Nashville, son. Learn it our way." That right there, I played a couple gigs and everything, and I had a guy named Johnny Barber. He played for everybody back then. Paycheck, Merle Haggard. He played for all those guys.
Mm.
Willie Cantu. He was one of the Buck Owens. He played for the Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. Those two guys, they told me, he said, Thumper, you got a lot of potential. You need to stop and slow down and listen. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth, therefore listen twice as much as you speak. I said, okay, I'll do that. They took me under their wing and they started showing me counts and different kickoffs. You know, you have a 3-4-1-2 kickoff. Boom, you know, the pickups and stuff. And I started listening and learning. And I'd have a gig at 6 o'clock, but I'm downtown Nashville at 12. So I can pick up 6 hours of basically learning their style. And I was one of the top trainers in Nashville for drummers. They'd be like, no, you listen to how Thumper does it.
Nice.
So, you know, I had a transition. I'm a product of the 80s. So yeah, I mean, Rat and Poison, Motley Crue, all those guys back in the 80s. And yeah, I was influenced by rock. But I also did the Texas, being from Texas, originally I was born there. I had the swing, the Texas swing, and the shuffles and stuff like that. So I did a collaboration, and now you have the Thumper, Thumper drums, I guess, with the lack of better words, man.
I love it.
But it's still hard, it's fast, and to this day, I'll utilize double bass on songs that doesn't require double bass, but it's tactful. It's not overwhelming.
Right.
There's a thing, and that's one thing that I was wanting to point out. Willie Cantu, you know, he taught me a lot of stuff, and he came up to me one day in Nashville. He says, Thumper, you think you could show me how to do double bass? I'm like, what? Willie Cantu asking me to teach him something? I'm like, I'll try. I'll do what I can, but I'm a little overwhelmed at it. And he said, what it is, and he showed me his setup, and he had a 20 and a 22-inch kick. And they was different. And he said, what I want to do is, he said, I want to be able to utilize that. I said, okay. And I did. And we never, as a drummer, no matter how old we get, we never stop learning. When you think you know it all, that's when you better give up your game.
That's good. I love that. And I've thought that too. Yeah. In our little YouTube community, well, it's not little, it's a pretty big community. You know, we run the spectrum of beginner to seasoned professional, you know, and there's something you can learn from the beginner, and there's something the beginner can learn. I mean, there's always more headroom to grow. So I love hearing you say that, because I think sometimes we want to think there's a destination, you know, like a solid, I've arrived, I'm as good as I'm ever going to be. But I've even heard things, you know, like I couldn't tell you where I read it or heard it, but like even Steve Gadd, you know, saying something about learning something from this other great. You know, it's like you're Steve freaking Gadd, you know, like.
And you're right, it was Steve Gadd, because I was listening to him the other day, and like I said, that's why I watch Thomas Lang and Steve Gadd and some of these other guys. I mean, it's just Thomas Lang. It's kind of confusing if you don't know the basics. You better not start with Thomas Lang,
right?
Because he will have you just saying, you know what, I'll sell my drums, go somewhere else and pick up guitar or something. That's like a amateur guitarist trying to learn Van Halen's Eruption all of a sudden, you know.
Oh,
but no, seriously, I never stop learning. I did something the other day, just right here at the house, just yesterday, doing something, and I incorporated a paradiddle with something, and it was like, oh damn. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it's just, you know, you never stop learning. When you think you've learned it all, within you might ought to consider a different occupation.
Yeah. I think when you think you know it all, or when it stops being fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, stop doing it. Because I think if you get to a point where you feel like you know everything, nobody wants to be around you.
Exactly. And that's the whole definition of arrogance. And I'm not an arrogant man.
Yeah.
I'm always up for learning something.
Yeah, that's such a great attitude. Such a great attitude. What let me see. I was gonna ask, there was something I had in my head. We just talking about Thomas Slang. I'll cut all my rambling out right here.
Good.
Let's see here. Yeah, so somebody starting out on the drums, what advice would you give them?
The same advice that was given to me. You got two ears and one mouth, therefore listen twice as much as you talk and think you know it all, because when you think you know it all, somebody's going to come around and just blow you right out of the water, and you'll be like, what the hell just happened? So listen, learn and listen, man. Learning. I'm 52. I'll be 52 this year in November. I am always learning something. Always. Whether it's drums, whether it's about life, whether it's something new. I mean, I pick up drum hacks. I pick up other kind of hacks from YouTube, and it's a learning experience, man. And there's so much knowledge in here. Just to the new drummer, listen, learn, and don't think you know it all, because you never will.
Yeah. Now I kind of a similar question. Let's say somebody has been playing and they're wanting to, break into playing in Nashville. What advice would you give that drummer? Or is it the same advice?
It actually would be the same advice, but see, I came to Nashville back in the 90s, man, and people then was more apt to help you out. Nowadays, it's more about the bro music and the skinny jeans. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, but that's why I got out of Nashville, man. I'm not a skinny guy, and I'm not the bro music kind of guy. I don't mind listening to it if I have to, or I don't mind playing it for sure. But as far as just I don't know. That's a good question. Again, all I can say is listen, but I haven't been in Nashville now for 5 or 6 years, so I got out of that scene because of that reason. It started going down. They've got so many. It's Nashville. That's all I gotta say.
So what are you doing now? Because I know we talked the other week and you had some gigs that you were getting set up for.
Oh yeah, I'm still playing. There's a band here in New Hampshire I'm playing now, a C4 band, and I'm doing some stuff with Brandon Giles still. Me and Brandon's been together in Nashville since '99, and so I'm doing some stuff with him. Doing a little bit of recording. I've got a couple other little bands, or not bands, but projects going on around New Hampshire. So yeah, I'm still staying busy.
Yeah.
I think we were scheduled last week for an interview, and I ended up having to play. So, or not having to. I don't want to make it sound like oh God, I got to play again.
Oh, I had to play drums. Oh,
right.
Not again.
Yeah, no, I had a gig that was put us to today. So, yeah, I'm staying busy.
Nice. I love it. Fun fact. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Guys like me, I'm not a lazy guy, so I want to work, and I perfect my craft, and people appreciate it, enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You need to put more stuff on YouTube so we can all see more of Thumper's drumming. That solo you've got in there, I know it's from several years ago, but it's outstanding. I've actually shared it with a handful of people.
Well, thank you.
I feel like, check this solo out.
Yeah.
Or who are you interviewing today? I'm like, oh, it's one of my our friends, Thumper, and we built a drum for him, and here he is. So I love doing that. But fun fact, New Hampshire, I know you know this, but just for those of you that may not, I grew up in New Hampshire from like 9 years old to 18 or 19 years old. So when we connected and you were from New Hampshire, we were like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
That's
Yeah.
fun. I had somebody today say, you're not from North Carolina originally, are you? I'm like, no, I'm definitely not. He's like, yeah, I can tell. You don't sound like you're from North Carolina.
You already hear him from up here. You're not from New Hampshire, are you? No.
That's awesome. I love it. So what's in the future for Thumper?
The future is open to me for anybody. It's like I said, I never stop learning. So for me, the sky's the limit. I'm ready to go anywhere, anytime with anybody. I've got everything going for me. I've got my personalized snare, my personalized cymbals, personalized drumsticks. I'm good, man. I just excuse me. Woo, excuse me. I just keep doing what I do. Try to stay in decent shape. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I play my drums and make people happy, man. I meet people. I'm a people person, and my personality is big, just like me. So what you see here is what you get. I'm just a down-to-earth drumming guy that loves his music and loves people, and I'm not going to try to put on no front. That's not me, man. I am who I am. God has made me who I am, and I'm proud of who I am.
I love that. I picked up on that about you in our early conversations, like that you were just a genuine person. When we started talking about your snare drum, no pretensions, just, and even talking about what you've done, it's from a place of, this is just what I've done. It's not a look at me. Just a very humble, down to earth dude. And I absolutely love that.
Sure.
I love that. Well, so is there anything you want to leave with our viewers today, Thumper?
Yeah, Eric, for the young and old, man, never stop learning. Strive for just for the best. Always do your best. Never do nothing halfway. Just I'm one that I've worked very hard for what I have done and what I have accomplished, and I've always strived for excellence. That's the way it is. I know I'm not the best, but I tell you what, I stay busy, and with God on my side, I can never go wrong.
I love it. That's good advice. I always heard somebody say, I heard somebody say a ways back, nobody's perfect, but if you strive for perfection, you'll achieve excellence.
Exactly.
And I think that, wanting to do what we do with excellence, it doesn't mean it's without mistakes ever, right. but you're striving for this. The bar is here. It's not, way down here. I think that's fantastic advice. Yes, well, man, I've really enjoyed hearing your story. I knew a little bit of it, but I got to hear some more of it today. And I want to thank you so much for stopping by, dude.
Man, thank you so much for having me, Eric. And like I said, God bless you and Loretta for the things you do and for the community, and especially, with there's a snare, you got the red, white, and blue. Man, that's amazing that you're helping the armed forces that way. And to me, even me this day, every gig you see, you'll see my American flags flying on my drum rack or whatever, my cymbal stands. That's the way I am.
Love it. Well, Thumper, thank you again. And you all, I'm going to put a link to Thumper's channel. He doesn't have a lot of content up there right now, but I think I put a bug in his ear, so I think he'll start uploading some more of his playing out. But go subscribe. I'm also going to put a link, some of the brands he talked about in the description below. So you guys, thank you again for stopping by. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much, Eric. We'll see you next time. God bless you, brother.